Hey y'all, it's Mandy, the Sleep Nana, and this is my week 18 update since having VSG surgery on June the 23rd with Dr. Rossi at CMAC in Charleston, West Virginia. I'm 44 years old, 5 foot 4 inches, and my goal weight is 140 as of right now. Now that I got that speech out of the way, let me catch my breath. I feel like I sound like some kind of robot or something, and it sounds so rehearsed when I start with that, but the numbers is what most people want to hear, so that's what we're going to do first. And I apologize for the weird lighting. I'm doing this video a little later than usual, and I don't know, I think that light's just weird anyway, but okay. My high weight was 259.6, my surgery weight 247.6. Last week I weighed in at 192.4, and this week I weighed in at 191 even, which means I lost 1.4 pounds, the last week, which is better than gaining 1.4 pounds. That's what I've been telling myself with these little losses. I lost a total of 68.6 pounds since my high weight. Since surgery, I've lost 56.6, and I now have 51 pounds till I reach my goal weight, as long as my goal stays at 140. I've said in other videos that may or may not change. The closer that I get to it, I'll just see how I feel and how I feel about how I look at that weight. Y'all know the drill. Like, I've weighed 140 before, but I was younger and I carry my weight a lot differently now. I actually weighed 140 after having one or two kids, I can't remember. But I have weighed that since giving birth. But I've also had more kids since that, so. And I think age plays a factor, really. So, yeah. Who knows? I'm still using the Gene Probe. And I do that in the mornings with a cup of just my regular coffee. One scoop is 30 grams of protein. I know there's a debate about that. It's a controversial thing. But as long as the bag says 30, your girl's putting 30 in my Berrytastic app, okay? Because there's a reason it wasn't changed on the bag, I'm assuming, okay? So we're going to say it's got 30. So I do that, and then I use the Fairlife lactose-free milk. I think it has like 13 grams of protein, so I use that in my iced coffee. I do measure it out to 1 cup. It has 6 grams of sugar. I'm going to say 120 calories. I'm trying to think of the numbers for you all. 4.5 grams of fat. Carbs I'm wanting to say are 6 too. So not bad, especially if it's not going to cramp my stomach, you know. So I do measure that out, and I have 1 cup, and then I fill the rest of my cup that I used for my iced coffee with just my regular cold brew coffee that I make myself, and I'll put some skinny syrup in there. And I know we can count that as fluids technically. Some people choose to, some people don't. So you do with that what you want. I try to get water in and count that as, you know, my fluids, just because caffeine can be dehydrating, and I don't want to solely count on coffee and iced coffee as my source of fluids, okay? So, yeah, and popsicles, y'all, like, I feel like I'm back at square one with things because of how my belly's been, you know, my sleeve. It's just, I would say in the past few months, it's hard for me to think of a day that I didn't feel nauseous, at least a little bit, at least part of the day. I don't know if a lot of people experience that, if it's, you know, if it was the Premier Protein, and I mean, I still am having some cheese. So I don't know. I'm still just kind of wondering myself, to be honest. Does those things, or does this make me regret having the surgery? Absolutely not. I just feel like it's a matter of me figuring out still what's working and what's not. Getting my digestive tract lined back out with the medication. I wondered before surgery if I have celiac disease, to be honest, because my niece has it, and her doctor has told her mom that it is genetic, and she got it from somebody. My mom says that my grandma had it, and my great-grandma had it, and I've had stomach issues. I think they started when I was about 12 or 13, so I don't necessarily think that my stomach issues is surgery related. So don't let that, you know, if you're still thinking about having the surgery, don't let my issue, what I'm having, change your mind, because even still, everybody's journey is different. Everybody's bodies are different. Everybody's tolerances are different. So I'm just sharing, you know, my struggles and the journey along the way, and so that way, like, maybe somebody else out there experiences the same thing or has experienced the same thing, we can help each other out and try to be like, hey, you know, that happened to me and this is what I found out, and then hopefully a little while down the road I can come back in and do that for somebody else too. So yeah, I really don't know, guys. I'm starting to wonder that, you know, or think that it's just really just my body. It's just my digestive tract issues that I've had for a long time, and I just think that all of the dairy that I was having was just too much for me to handle. So that's what I'm thinking at this point. It may or may not change. I don't know. But anyway, that was a lot of ramblings about, a lot of belly aching about my belly aches, I should say. That's how it's getting to be a little more like a chore for me, is tracking everything. Now, I do think tracking is very important, especially in the beginning, but I don't think it becomes less important, if that makes sense. Because I do think that sometimes we can lose track, you know, no matter how many calories we think we've got calculated in our heads that we're remembering throughout the day, no matter how well of a routine that we think we're in. I think that there will be days, you know, where we might go over, you know, on this, or not quite meet this macro, or, you know, overall, I think that once we get into the swing of things, you can get yourself to where you can stay in a pretty generalized area. But then if you see, you know, maybe you put on a pound here and there, that's when I feel like the tracking needs to become a habit again. For me, what I'm doing to keep myself from saying to hell with tracking altogether, pretty much, is I'm not tracking everything on the weekends now. I'm kind of just doing like intuitive eating on the weekends, but I am tracking Monday through Friday still. And that has helped me to feel like tracking is less of a chore. So that's an idea, you know, if some of you all out there are just kind of like, you know what, I'm over this whole tracking thing. So the main things really that I'm focused on tracking right now anyway is my protein and my fluids. And I didn't bring it over here, but I have like a 40-ounce water jug. And so I know that if I drink at least 2 of those a day, that I'm good on my water. And that's actually like more than what I need. And that's in addition to my coffee, my morning coffee. And if I have an iced coffee, I don't necessarily like put like such a big emphasis on completely finishing that second jug of the 40-ounce water. As long as I get at least 1 of those in, if I've had an iced coffee, because I do need to eat some too, and so that's just a lot. Yeah, especially how we have to space things out 30 minutes in between. So that's one thing that is helping me. And so if you're getting bored with the tracking, maybe try that before you give up on it altogether, because protein is really important to track, and that's one thing that, you know, you need to really stay on top of. And I can also on the weekends say, okay, if I have my morning coffee, I put the scoop of Gene Pro in there. That's 30 grams right there. I had a tuna packet, or, you know, I put my collagen in my iced coffee. And so off the top of my head, you know, at least if I know that I've had that Gene Pro and my collagen, that I'm going to be okay for the 2 days, you know, the weekend. So it's not like it's not going to be detrimental, you know. But there's little things you can do. And I know if y'all have done notice by now, if you've watched my other videos, that I cut my hair. Yeah, it was falling out so bad. I washed my hair yesterday. I did still have some, you know, that came out naturally with the wash. But just overall, like falling out, if I touch my hair, you know what I mean? I would have like a handful of hair, and yeah, I think, let's see, 1 hair there. Whereas before the cut, it would have been all over me. You know, why don't I feel more confident, like somebody who's lost almost 70 pounds should be feeling? And it made me think about the last time that I lost weight, because I've lost between 70 and 80 pounds years ago, and I kept it off for a long time. But it was like I never felt like I accomplished something great because I didn't get to my goal weight. That's probably body dysmorphia with a lot of perfectionist tendencies mixed in there, and anxiety and depression. For y'all that suffer from that, you know that it's very, very, very common to feel like, you know, that you're not enough, that you're not good enough, and that, you know, and so all that combined in there, I feel has a lot to do with that. So that is nothing new that I've struggled with. This is very familiar to me, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna try to look at this differently this time. I've lost right at 70 pounds, and that's freaking awesome. I freaking rock. Yeah, I had surgery. Yes, that tool helped me do that, but I still had to put in work to make that happen. I still have to get up every day and choose the right things to eat, choose the right things to drink. Surgery is not like an end-all be-all. Like, it is very possible for somebody who has had gastric sleeve, gastric bypass, light band, the switch, to gain your weight back. Now, I am just 4 months out, sure, but I believe that what I need to work on is setting myself up to not be so hard on myself. Go ahead and start, looking at where I need to be. Of course, I do think that I need to keep the big picture in mind always, because that can be our motivation. But I also need to learn to celebrate where I'm at now, what I've accomplished up to now. And that is something that I have struggled with prior to surgery, and here we are again, round 2 with the same ish. And I need to find ways to change that, change my mindset, speak positive about myself, tell myself, yes, self, and you tell yourself this too. Look in the mirror if you have to. Self, you are freaking amazing. You freaking rock. You're awesome. Like, look at what you've done. Yeah, you got this over here that you still need to do. But hey, dude, you're halfway there. Like, surgery helped you do that, sure, but you chose not to eat that piece of candy that your husband left laying on the counter. You chose not to polish off the leftovers and throwing that chicken nugget in your mouth how you used to do when you cleaned off your child's plate. You know what I mean? You did that. Surgery does not do that for you. Surgery changes your body, but it does not change your mind. So that's where I'm at right now. I've got to work on this. I had been doing yoga for a few weeks, not doing so much meditation that I feel like I need to be doing. So I'm going to make that a priority, a bigger priority than it has been. And I'm going to, sorry y'all, this really is a struggle for me. Body image always has been, and it dates way back, okay? Don't say things to yourself or about yourself that you wouldn't say to somebody that you love. I'm going to work on that, okay? And if you're struggling with that, spend some time alone with yourself. A friend of mine told me to get a journal. Write down things that you love about you. Focus on those. Write it on a post-it. Put it on your mirror. Look at that. The first thing let that be the first thing you do when you get up. Read it to yourself. Read it out loud. So not only are you seeing it, but you're saying it and you're hearing it, okay? It's little things like that that we can do. And I'm sorry to get emotional. I never thought I'd get emotional on Facebook or YouTube, but y'all, this has been a real struggle for me the majority of my life, since I can remember. And I mean, I have my reasons for it. Y'all probably like, this bitch needs therapy. You know what? I might. I might just be needing therapy. But there's things that we can do to at least, try to change our behaviors. I know that's not going to happen overnight. And I know that, me even putting these things into practice and me really doing the things that I'm advising or, telling y'all to try to do, I'm right there with you. I'm still there in it too, and just sharing some of the things that's been shared with me that are helping or that I am going to incorporate in hopes that they will help, okay? We all have our struggles. Everybody's struggles are different. It makes no sense, but you know what? It does. Your struggle, your fears, what you are insecure about, and all of that, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, y'all. It doesn't. And I know for those of us that struggle with anxiety and low self-esteem and all those things, we feel like oftentimes that because we don't see somebody else struggling with that, we'll question our struggle with it. We'll be like, well, are we being silly? Is that stupid? Or should I be feeling that way? Or she made me feel like I'm a child, or I'm overthinking. And we do overthink things. But if it feels like that for you, if it's a real fear for you, then it is real. It doesn't have to be real for anybody else. And you need to do what you need to do to overcome that, or to face it, or to just incorporate things that will change your behavior, change your thought process, change your mindset. And I think that that starts, for me, with how we speak about ourselves, okay? Being aware that the first thing and my first reaction is not being overly excited and celebrating the fact that I've lost right at 70 pounds. It's focusing more on that I still have 50 more to go. And already my mind has fast forwarded to not if, but when I lose that 50 pounds, what the loose skin's going to look like, what the loose skin's going to feel like. That's just what my mind is doing to me. And I have got to stop it. All of you all who are doing the same thing, we have to stop. We've got to celebrate where we are, what we've accomplished thus far. Take it day by day, one day at a time. And when we get there, you know, I might lose that 50 pounds, and hopefully, you know, I know I still need a tummy tuck, y'all. Like, I'm not saying, you know, my head's all in the clouds and I'm like, no, your girl is full aware, okay? Technically, you know, in some people's eyes, as far as like what, you know, you should look like or this and that, I will need a tummy tuck, okay? But hopefully it won't bother me to the degree that things have bothered me in the past, is what I'm trying to say. Will I still want a tummy tuck? Hell yeah, that ain't going to change. I can already tell you that. It is not going to change, okay? In the past, you know, will I let that happen this time? I hope not, to where, like, it really consumes my mind. I had in the past cried myself to sleep because of the loose skin when I lost the weight before. I became so obsessive over it. I hated my body. I hated the skin that I was in. And I was 20 pounds less than what I am now. I got down to 170 when I lost the weight before. So that's what I want to focus on, if I'm going to focus on anything down the road, is working now, right now, to go ahead and set myself up to where I'm not obsessing about everything not being perfect when I reach my goal weight. Going ahead and changing my thought process now and working on that now. You know, because it does need to change now. We need to celebrate ourselves every day. I wouldn't dare look at somebody else and say, oh, well, girl, you need to get that skin removed. Oh, girl, you need to cover it up. I wouldn't dare. I would actually look at that person, actually do look at these people, and I'm like, I wish that I felt that confident where, you know, this lady over here is in a bathing suit and she doesn't look like a model and she's having fun with her kids right now. What is that like? Yeah, I want to know what that's like. I don't want to be that person that's over here and weighing my goal weight, but still, you know, wrapped up in a cover-up and not playing on the beach or running down the lake with, you know, or doing different things with my grandkids and my kids because I'm embarrassed. That's what I want to change. You know, that's what has to change. And I want to be able to do that and still, you know, still want a tummy tuck because I know that I will be, but I still want to be able to celebrate me And so that's something that I'm working on, y'all. And I know a lot of people struggle with body dysmorphia after surgery, and it is a real thing. And a lot of people struggle with it and not even have surgery. It is a mental illness. Like, you know, it's just, and I find more and more that a lot of people who suffer with anxiety, it's fairly common. Well, no, let me say that. I'm saying that backwards. People who struggle with body dysmorphia often struggle with anxiety too. I feel like they kind of play off of it. You know, it kind of plays off of it, you know, and it makes sense. But I feel like I said a lot of stuff that was rambling to lead up to what I was really trying to get to, and I apologize for that. Sometimes I just stumble over my words. I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't necessarily get it all out, you know. So I promise you I'm going to edit some of this out. But yeah, I am I'm going to work on the way I speak about myself, and speak to myself. And I'm going to, like, when a thought does enter my mind and it's a negative thought about myself, I'm going to immediately say something positive. It all comes back to, like, somewhat like feeling like everything has to be perfect or nothing. That's something that I have to work on, y'all. So much stuff that I have to work on. And I know that I'm not alone. I know we all have our struggles. And look, I had actually my therapist with VSG appointments and things. One of the appointments, the word crazy came out of my mouth, and I immediately was like, I said, oops, I probably shouldn't have said that in your office. And she said, it's okay, honey. I think we're all just a little bit crazy. Okay, this chick is cool. If I was going to seek out some therapy, this is who I need to see. Like, you know. But I think she's right. We've all got something, you know, that either somebody else makes, you know, may think that we're a little crazy about, or makes us feel like we might be a little crazy. So it's just like, what level of crazy are you? Like, you know. But I don't feel like I'm like super crazy out there to where people need to be like, grab the straight jacket or anything. So yeah, but yeah, all I can do is just work on it, y'all. And I'm a work in progress in so many ways. So yeah, but so that's that. I'm not sure what's being left in this video. I hate editing, but this has to be edited. So whatever bits and pieces that y'all are seeing, the remnants of my editing, thank you for watching. If you've subscribed already, I appreciate it. If you don't care, please give this video a thumbs up. That really helps my page. And if you've not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would do that. And click that little bell icon, and so that way when I post another video, you'll know when it's uploaded and you'll be updated. So yeah, thank you for watching, following my journey of weight loss / working on my crazy / trying to find something to do with my time.